Hello, this is Mrs. Houston, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to work on this project, budgeting for your credit card payments, and this is part one, okay? I'm going to start by reading through some of the directions. You know that making only the minimum payment on your monthly credit card bill will prevent your APR from rising, that's your interest rate, and will help you avoid late fees. But it will also lead to long-term debt and a large total interest payment. Okay, so if you're only making those minimum payments each month, you're going to get charged more interest, and it's going to take you longer to pay it off. And so, you know, in the end, that interest payment is going to be larger. Sometimes it can be even more than the amount that you actually charged. So that said, how much can you afford to pay depends on your monthly income and spending. In other words, your budget. So if you remember, we did do a budgeting project, and this project is gonna explore the relationship between how much you can pay on your debt and you know, compare that to how much money you make. So throughout this whole project, you're gonna round up to the nearest whole dollar just to make it easier. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to assume that our monthly budget is the national average income for a full-time young adult worker with a bachelor's degree. Okay, so remember, average, national average, actually it says, but average means that there's a lot of people below this and a lot of people above this. If you added them all up and divided by the number of people, this is what it comes up with, 61,600. Okay, and I can be honest with you, when I started teaching, I think I started out at 48,000 a year. So this number is higher than what I started. Obviously, you know, I'm old, so that was a while ago, but I'm just trying to tell you my experience. So this number might be kind of high. I don't know. So if we divide it by 12, we get 5,133, which is your monthly gross income. Remember, gross income is before the deductions. So next, we have to figure out how much you actually get. That's your net pay after deductions such as taxes. I used a salary paycheck calculator, and I found out what the take-home pay would be. It's $4,034. So we'll use this figure as your hypothetical monthly income. Okay? So if you remember, we had that like chart, that like worksheet, we put this number in. This is the amount of money you take home and are able to spend each month. All right, number one, the Department of Labor issues a report each year on how the average American spent their income. Using the percentages in column 2, that's right here, this one, calculate the amount you would spend on each of the categories per month in the table below. We will be using them as your hypothetical budget, okay? So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I thought I had a calculator on here, and maybe I don't. Let me try this. So you're going to need your calculator. If you remember when, can I move this without moving? Oops. Without moving the whole thing. Let me get rid of this, maybe. There we go. Okay. So if we wanted to calculate, it says housing, the average American spends 33.3% of their income. Now, if we remember, when we have a percentage, I don't know if I'm going to be able to write here. Let's see. Try a different color. Okay. We have to first convert that percentage to a decimal. Okay, so if you remember, to do that, you divide by 100. So I'm going to go over to my calculator, 33.3 divided by 100. See, it gives us 0. I'm going to write it over here. Oops, I forgot. I got to go back to the pen. 0.333. Now, some of you might remember you can just move the decimal 2 places over to the left. Okay, so what we have to do now, is get our calculator back, and we are going to multiply our net pay, our take-home pay, which is 4034, times 0.333. Now you can type 0.333 or just the point. You see the zero is just a placeholder. All right. So 1,343.32, and remember we're going to round that to the nearest dollar. So it's just going to be 1,343. 1,343, rounding to the whole number. Okay, so that's how much of your monthly income you're going to spend on housing. Again, these are averages of what Americans spend, so we're just going to use that. So you're going to convert all of these decimal percentages into decimals, and you're going to multiply and get all of those numbers. Okay? Once you finish that, you are going to, let me go to a next page, scroll down, and there's just some questions that you want to answer. All right? Go through each of those questions and answer based on the numbers that you have in your table. Okay? That is part 1.